Massive Act 6 nerf, Soul Boost returning, Punisher 2099 buff, beat the boss convention type of fight situation, and a special arena is coming to the game. Yes, the next update is looking so jam-packed, you better get that jam and spread it on some goddamn toast stat. This video should have some time codes into the various topics we're going to be talking about, but do bear in mind there's a lot of research that's gone into this video, and hope you enjoy it, and hopefully it will keep you informed with stuff that Kabams have taken inspiration from, and as well a lot of the old beat the boss stuff. So yes, click the time codes to stuff that you want to see, but do come along for the journey, come along for the ride, and you might learn a bit about the past of MCoC. Now let's kick off by talking about the two champions from a design perspective. Kabams are smashing it when it comes to character design. They look so good. The animations as well, you know, are on par with equal greatness. But I just want to point out these look cool. Although Red Goblin does look like some kind of happy little elf just in time for Christmas. So it's nice to see that the hat. No, I'm just kidding. Right, it's well done, especially compared with a lot of games out there. I don't want to kind of diss other games, especially those that haven't been released. But Red Goblin will feature in some capacity to other games like, again, I shouldn't be so rude to like other games, but I must say, Kabams do hit it out of the park when it comes to the way they texturize, the way that they create these characters from a design perspective. They're just done so well. Gabe and the team do an amazing job with this. Same thing can be said for the Cosmic Ghost Rider. I think Cosmic Ghost Rider has got to be one of my favorites, especially, again, it just goes down to like just the minute detail of texturing, the way that light hits certain things here with the shoulder pads, and as well the elements of coverage of the fire. It's where the kind of the light hitting the like glass. I want to say it's glass, but it kind of be a kind of a rubbish thing. Obviously, it's a Cosmic Ghost Rider, so it's meant to be like a I'm in space. But yeah, they do an amazing job. The finer details, things I absolutely love. I just like the little kind of galaxy kind of background image in between some of the art, the armor on the torso, and especially on the arm as well. So yeah, props to Kabams on the creation of this. Obviously, from the Cosmic Ghost Rider perspective, we've got the chain that goes through, but yeah, good job, Kabams, on the design. They look absolutely amazing. And spotlights, because I know people will ask about the spotlights, they will be available next week. So they're not going to be available in this video or on, I think it's going to be available on, the spotlights will be on the forum, and it will be next week rather than being this week. So it's a bit bad, but I mean, I think you guys have seen some of the leaked information. So there's some stuff that is right and there's some stuff that is wrong, so that's something to talk about in a future video. Now, for those interested, Mephisto is back up to his old tricks, and especially with the story narrative being very much reflective of what's going on with Heralds of Galactus, Cosmic Ghost Rider. Mephisto's working, kind of manipulating situations, so that's going to be something that is going to, as it says, it's going to be a Spirit Avengers meets embodiment of Carnage, and how those two come together in some sort of like, I don't know, Heralds versus like Spider-Verse type thing. It's going to be mental. Now, something incredibly interesting is Kabams' reuse of an old event to a degree. If a lot of you remember something in the past called Soul Boost, and as well a soul-based event where you had the option of selling your soul. And yeah, back in October 2017, you did have this option, sell your soul, keep your soul. And as well, there was a side event where you had to use Soul Boost. I've just gone back through some old things, and it's kind of weird, and I've probably put these in the thumbnail. It's kind of the idea of like, this is what was like this back in a day. 3 years ago in October, when we had Mephisto come into the game and kind of shake up some stuff, we saw, I think we saw Mephisto, Morningstar, and Blade all in 1 month, and it was a kind of a spooky time, but I don't know if this is kind of treated as spooky more than demonic, but I guess that's kind of around the whole element of Halloween. Because, like, here's the thing. Back in the day, and this was actually taken on Reddit, it's weird to see your own face. I'm like, oh, God. Luckily, I haven't lost the hair, so that's a good thing. In 3 years, I've still, you know, we're doing all right. We're doing okay. You know, I've got a haircut booked for tomorrow, so hopefully I can get that due back. I missed that due. But yeah, back in 2017, we had a special spooky calendar. Will we ever see something like this? I don't know. Definitely not said in these release notes that we get it, but I'd hope this to be something of a just a random thing that comes up. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember what these were here. These kind of special boosters. I don't know if these boosts were something to do with the Soul event, but I think This might be 2016 here, and this 2017 there. It's really weird as well to see something just above my head, which is this kind of box of, it looks like revives and stuff. So that would be would be cool. But yeah, you can just see the difference. 105 star shards, 54 star shards, 53 star shards. My God, how things have gone on from where they were to where they are now. Well, I mean, we're kind of like, we'd turn up our noses if we didn't see anything that was more than 1,006 star shards, especially for those that are Cavalier or the future Thronebreaker. So that's going to be another thing as well. But yeah, will we receive something on this? I don't know, but it would be good to see this, especially. I mean, I love the boosts. That's one thing that's good. Miss those, or not miss those. We've got those, but I would miss them if they were not put in something like this. But I have to see. Now, what's all this side event all about? Yeah, I've talked about what I've talked about, and I digress. When it comes to this event, it's called the Limbo Quest. You then go into Limbo Quest, you'll sell your souls to get a boost, or a soul boost, similar to what we've seen in recent years, if it's going to be the same, or maybe it's changed. You then, same dynamic, you're trying to bypass some of these horrible effects that are going to be put your way from the enemy, but at the same time, this is a little bit of a twist, is that you might give a buff to the enemy. And I think this is where champions like Morningstar, Rogue, and potentially, and I'm going to throw it out there, Loki, especially with the idea of like, okay, if they get a buff, then why don't you get a buff as well? Rogue steals them. Then you've got Morningstar. Morningstar gets the same. I mean, as long as they've got like Fury in the words that she can steal. But I think Rogue would probably be the ideal solution, especially with shrugging off the debuff effects, power controlling, and as well life stealing. So there could be some really good options there with who you use. And I might even think about using Rogue for a good chunk of it. But yeah, that is quite exciting. Hades Invasions is what they're called. Hades Invasions, but they called Limbo Quest. So one or the other. So yes, I'm sure there'll probably be a legendary difficulty. I'm sure there'll be an epic difficulty, and I hope that is good rewards. Those will probably be posted up on the forums, and we can check them out at a later date, just not in the release notes I've been given to talk about. Next up, and special arenas. Next month, there is indeed going to be a special arena. I'm excited for these. I love them. I think they're fantastic. Road to Greatness is one of them. This one is going to be very, very special. The Punishing Arena seems to be quite fun, especially for the point of acquisition of lost souls, and as well Monster and Hunter crystal shards. Will this be something of a 2-star thing? I hope not. I hope it's very much well, I'd love to see it's like 3, 4, 5, and 6, or maybe like 4, 5, and 6, but I don't think it's going to be that. If I'm being honest, I think it's going to be like 3, 4s, and 5s in those crystals. Just seems like the way that Kabam would go with this. Should there be something of an increase? I think that's up to the player base to decide, especially from where players are from the point of like, you know, are they Cavalier, pushing Thronebreaker? Do they see any value in this stuff? That's a very kind of key question. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I do think it's quite fun to accumulate all the stuff like the shards, do big openings at the end of the month, and see if you can get something really nice. Especially getting something that could be a 5-star that you've always wanted, and as well what constitute a monster and a hunter. Well, it's probably going to be the likes of like Blade, Elsa Bloodstone, Hunter, you know, monsters being your Venoms, your King Groots, and Sasquatches, and more. Dragon Man, maybe, I don't know. So it's depending on like how that's kind of classified between one or the other. But yeah, that could be really exciting. Next up, and 7 Deadly Sins. Yeah, I don't know if Kabam forgot for a moment what's their game. I don't know. Feels kind of weird. 7 Deadly Sins apparently. But again, this seems to be a good opportunity to grab things like the Lost Souls, Monster and Hunt crystal shards, and you get a profile pick. There's no word as of yet about what is going to be the Cavalier difficulty thing. Will this be more about acquisition of tier 5 class catalyst? Will there be an overly shard driven month? That's going to be something very important to players. Is it going to be a case that some of the other side events are going to give some tier 5 class catalysts, especially with a big push of Thronebreaker? That is going to be a key thing moving forward, especially into the month of October. More information on this will probably be on the forums at a later date. Now, I think one of the most burning questions is what's going to be happening with Punisher 2099, especially from a point of view of like, well, where does this guy ramp up? And as well, where would it just be placed in people's rosters? Because there needs to be like a huge amount of stuff kind of done to this to be like all about the potency, the damage output, the utility, and everything else. Now, there are a lot of changes about this champion which I think are just going to be so crucial to the damage output, and I love them. So the two things to mention here is overdrive now drains the battery more slowly, which means you are in overdrive for a lot longer. Reduced drain from 0.5 seconds per battery percent to 0.4. And an overdrive attack bonus now gives a plus 150% attack rating for the entire duration of overdrive. This becomes incredibly important when the champion goes into overdrive, as it means like, man, there's going to be some amazing damage to slap the enemy. You know, compared with what you see here, with what you're actually going to be getting, and what is this, like a lower ranked version? I think it's like, yeah, rank 1. So yeah, like 150%. If it's a straight up thing, then that's going to be an incredible start. And the champion is getting this much needed tune-up that he needs to see, especially to be an asset for power control, a little bit of regen, and also slapping really hard with the damage. Punisher 2099 also has some very boring synergies. Nothing really to, you know, ramp up the champion, ramp up any other champion. But the good news is there are some improvements to his synergy line, and especially as you can see right here. So there's a loyal minister cross-training synergy. So there's boosts to the likes of Standard Punisher, so OG Punisher, Captain America. It's kind of substantial. It's like 15% to 25% while opponents under the effect of stun and fatigue debuffs. So that's cool about the ramping up damage for attack rating for those two champions. And then you got Captain America Infinity War. It gets bleed debuffs, also now trigger an effect in addition to fatigue and stun. So that's good as well. There's kind of like improvements there. You've got Hell Hydra synergy, so Red Skull's heal block duration increased. Punisher debuff duration increased by 50 to 60%. So there's some really good synergies there. I don't know if you would see yourself using a Red Skull on your team, but definitely from a point of like the others, there could be some good pair-ups and matchups there, especially if you want to put Punisher 2099 as a key member of your roster and squad moving forward. Punisher 2099 still remains one of those kind of niche champions, but there are some really cool things that I think I've overlooked this champion from a point of where and how nanotech and the battery kind of works, from like the point of if enemies get a regen buff, then 20% of the battery is drained to infect the opponent with a nano inhibitor and heal blocks them for 8 seconds. Can be really helpful in situations where enemies are getting a lot of regen. So yeah, I mean, I think I've overlooked this champion, and I'm really excited to see like what the future holds, especially by the means of what's going to happen with the buff. And these boosters are going to mean for a really spicy look. So yeah, roll on next week. Now, coming in line with the changes and the Pain Point Posse completing their work, it looks like we're getting some dramatic changes to Act 6.2 and to 6.3 and 6.4, but I think more so for 6.2, because the pain points, like the fact of the Mordo boss, the Mr. Sinister boss, are being changed and reworked, which I am so happy to hear. But it goes a step further. For those that want to get stuff done with Chapter 1 Quest 5 Crossbones boss fight, it's replaced Biohazard with Poison. That's insane. That changes up everything for players that want to use certain champions. Especially with that bleed immune side of things, it means that you just have to concentrate on the poison immune side of things, which again isn't too bad with champion usage in that particular fight. The Mr. Sinister boss fight change, replacing EMP modification with Prey of the Week. You know, that is a major change, especially from EMP modification being such of an absolute ball ache for this fight. I mean, it's a ball ache with in general, but still, like, changing it with EMP modification, good job, Kabam, on that one. Great work. And as well with the Mordo fight change, added a reduced potency version of Strength in Numbers. New reduction is 12.5% per KO champion, meaning maximum of 50% reduction. It ain't too bad for that one, so that's a good-ish change. But, you know, it's still going to be a bit of a funky fight. Chapter 2, Quest 6, replaced Rogue with Old Man Logan. That's all right, but it's not, you know, substantial change, but I think it works out better for certain interactions. Then you got Chapter 3, Quest 1, Medusa boss removed Counter-Strike. I think that's going to be a major change. Act 6.3.3, replace Mysterio with King Groot. Replace preceding King Groot with Groot. So, man, I think if that's the boss. No, ignore me. I was thinking of something else. It's actually the one that, well, look down there, the icon. So it's like it's gone. That's where Mysterio would be. So yeah, ignore me on that one. The main boss as well is being swapped from being replaced with Ultimate Power with Aggression Fury, which I think is a good change. So good on them for doing that. And then Quest or Chapter 4 sees a huge amount of changes, from Venom the Dark being replaced with Spectre with Electro Fluctuations, Taskmaster removed with Terminal Velocity, Darkhawk boss removed Raptor upgrades, and replaced Iceman with Havoc in Quest 4. Kabam also aren't stopping now. I'd love to say like, oh, what's going on with this game? Come on, we need these icons back working, Kabam, get it sorted. But there's a lot of changes to the Adaptoid boss, and as well, there's going to be some future stuff as well. As Kabam say, the Arcus mini-boss has been replaced by EMP modification, and Hydra boss is getting a 600% reduction down to 300% champion boost. That's insane. It's a bit annoying as well, as I know that a lot of players are now, and I'm hoping if you're kind of going like, okay, am I pushing for Thronebreaker? Am I taking a little bit of a rest? Will you get something of compensation? I don't think anything is being mentioned. So yeah, so thank you for your feedback, and special thank you to those. It's the Pain Point Posse players have raised, also while maintaining some of the difficulty that should come with the jump from Act 5 to Act 6, of course. And yeah, those are massive changes. Thank God that they're coming in, and as well at the same time, it's good to see stuff that I'm going to find more easier grind in Act 6. I'm going to now push towards, when this update comes in, I'll probably spend, I don't know, a day devoted to just doing Act 6.2 just solidly, so look out for that when I stream that. Also, next month, Kabam aren't done there, especially as they'll be working towards this Convention Clash, which will be a massive event that kind of incorporates all the previous Beat the Bosses. And if you want more information, I've put videos in for the 2017, which is here. This is Seatins' video of the 2017 Boss Rush, as well the 2018 Boss Rush as well, going up against the likes of Thanos, which will be the one with the different types of stones, the Infinity Stones. And as well, finally, the 2019 version. So the 2019, where Metal Sonic Dude slapped the living, well, stuff out of the, champion fight. But will this be a champion that you'll look to defeat? Those are going to be the questions, and that's what to prepare for. But I have decided to leave one big thing, which if you've stayed to the very end, you'll know that this is going to happen. And that Ghost Rider is now going to become Incinerate immune. That is brilliant. That is good news to hear. Kabam making his little inroads as soon as like players go, why is this person not immune to this? That they are kind of listening and paying attention, even though that it's been years in the making. But it's good to see. Like, I'm going to say it's positive to see Incinerate immune. As I think for Ghost Rider, there's a few other changes and improvements to certain ones. There's the issue with Warlock with the SP1, which is personally something that I don't like at the moment. It's a whiff with the SP1. Man, that's been sorted out, thank God. The same thing with a few others as well. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to be posted onto the forum, but hopefully you've seen some of the various time codes to some of the stuff. If you've enjoyed seeing this video and enjoyed in general, thank you very much for supporting. Thanks very much for being here, and hopefully you have enjoyed watching. Look up a very spicy next month in the game. And also make sure to check out some recent content over here, up there, and all that stuff. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching this video. See you very soon. Bye-bye.